no disappointment. Like, I think it just gives you something to work for. You know, that's a dream. You know, hopefully one day I can be there, and I think it's just a little more motivation. You remember that, and you know, hopefully in 4 years, when 4 years comes back around, you know, I can be there.
Caitlin Clark, the #1 pick in April's WNBA draft, who had an up-and-down start to her WNBA career, did not make the Olympic team. Clark just put up 30 points versus the Mystics. That was her best game yet, while the Fever's attendance for games is 16,000 plus.
We talked actually on the bus. She got the call on the bus and she texted me to let me know. And, you know, I just tried to keep her spirits. I mean, the thing she said was, "Hey, coach, they woke a monster," which I thought was awesome.
Did you hear what's happening behind closed doors at the WNBA right now? People are losing jobs. Committees are being dismantled. And it's all because of one player they decided to snub, Caitlin Clark. The most popular women's basketball player in the world was left off the Olympic team, and now the WNBA is scrambling to fix their mistake. They're literally moving games to NBA arenas because of her popularity. This might be the biggest power shift we've ever seen in women's basketball, and I'm going to break it all down for you. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video.
It took a buzzer beater from Stewie for them to beat Belgium in the Olympic qualifying tournament earlier this year. So to me, the primary factor looking at all of this was experience. Now, as a fan of Caitlin Clark, I would have loved to see her on that stage, doing what she has always done, making moments that grow the game. But Team USA doesn't select simply based off of fandom, especially when the world is catching up. 9 of the 12 players, as you mentioned, Molly, have competed in the Olympics before. 2 others were all WNBA, and one, the last spot, if you're going to try to list them down, was Finals MVP.
Let me take you back to that moment when the Olympic team was announced. Everyone's checking their phones and boom, no Caitlin Clark on Team USA. The most popular player in women's basketball, breaking records left and right, didn't make the cut. That's crazy, right? The Olympic Committee tried to explain it away. They said Clark didn't attend enough USA basketball events and other players had more experience. Sounds reasonable until you dig deeper into what actually happened. The USA basketball camp was scheduled during the NCAA Final Four when Clark was leading Iowa to the championship game. How was she supposed to be in 2 places at once? Make it make sense. Fans weren't buying these excuses, and even big names jumped in to defend Clark.
8 of the players that made the roster played together at the World Cup in Australia. All of those things factored in the eyes of the committee. Was it a missed opportunity to grow the game? Yes. But to me, it looks like they were more concerned about missing gold. And if you dive into her position, the point guard position, again, they chose experience. Diana Taurasi, Chelsea Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, and even if you put a combo guard like Kelsey Blum into that category. Now that has opened them up to criticism.
So if we're trying to go, because we have a precedent here. This is not like this is to be the first time that we're adding a WNBA player. Because you remember in 2004, they put Diana Taurasi on this team.
Shannon Sharp asked exactly what we were all thinking. If you're trying to grow the game, why wouldn't you include the most popular player in the world? It's such a simple question that the committee couldn't answer. Remember how Team USA played in Paris? They barely escaped with gold, struggling against France in ways nobody expected. There were moments in that game when they couldn't buy a bucket. You gotta wonder, would Clark's shooting have made a difference in those tight moments? They were damn near losing over there, according to sources close to the situation. Now we're seeing something wild happening behind the scenes. People involved in that Olympic decision are losing their jobs left and right. Cheryl Swoops, gone from her announcing job in Dallas. Another announcer in Phoenix, also gone. Kennedy Carter, she's under internal investigation for her social media posts about Clark. Even Dawn Staley, who was on the Olympic Committee, no longer involved. The entire committee structure is being torn down and rebuilt from scratch. This isn't just a few changes. This is a complete overhaul. The WNBA is scrambling to fix their mistake, and Commissioner Kathy Engelbert appears to be personally leading this cleanup operation. She knows they can't afford to alienate their new golden goose. All this shows just how much power Clark has gained in such a short time. She didn't even have to say a word for heads to roll. She didn't post angry tweets or give fiery interviews complaining about the snub. She just kept playing amazing basketball, and the ratings kept soaring wherever she went. Her silence spoke volumes, and now the entire basketball establishment is reorganizing itself around her. The quiet power move is sometimes the strongest. The WNBA is basically begging Clark for forgiveness at this point. Have you seen what they're doing? They're moving entire games to NBA arenas just because of her. The Mystics didn't play in their regular spot. They went to a bigger arena because they knew Clark would pack the house. That's not normal for a rookie. This is the same league that was acting like Clark needed to prove herself just a few months ago. Remember all those veterans saying she needed to earn her stripes? Now they're treating her like the face of women's basketball. Because guess what? She is. But here's where it gets really interesting. The WNBA isn't just acknowledging Clark's star power. They're completely restructuring the entire Olympic system around her. And it all comes down to one massive appointment that tells us everything we need to know about how scared they are of messing up again. Sue Bird is now the managing director for the USA women's national team for the 2028 Olympic cycle. This isn't just some random hire. This is the WNBA saying, "We hear you," without actually saying the words. Bird is a 5-time Olympic medalist and 4-time World Cup champion. She brings serious credibility to the table, and more importantly, she can smooth over all the political drama that kept Clark off the team. Those USA mini camps have been a tradition for the women's team forever. But after this controversy, would players even want to attend? Bird's presence changes that equation completely. Players respect her, coaches listen to her, and she has the clout to make sure talent trumps politics. This is a total box office moment for the WNBA. They're basically admitting they messed up without having to actually say we messed up. It's damage control at its finest. The league that was downplaying Clark's importance a few months ago is now restructuring its entire approach to accommodate her star power. Sue Bird's appointment is a direct response to the Clark controversy. It's designed to prevent future snubs and make sure the WNBA can capitalize on Clark's marketability for the 2028 Olympics. They're not taking any chances this time. They want Clark in that USA jersey, drawing massive ratings and attention. The message couldn't be clearer. The WNBA finally understands that growing the game means embracing their biggest star, not sidelining her. They learned their lesson the hard way, and now they're doing everything possible to make sure they don't repeat the same mistake. Clark didn't have to say a word. Her impact did all the talking. The WNBA just learned the hard way that you can't grow women's basketball by sidelining your biggest star. They had to move a Mystics game to an NBA arena. That never happens for rookies. Clark didn't need to say anything after the Olympic snub. Her silent power move changed everything. We're watching something crazy right now. A rookie forced an entire league and Olympic committee to restructure itself. Nobody has ever wielded this kind of influence so quickly. The big question now is what Clark does with all this power. This is just the beginning. The WNBA finally understands that Clark isn't just part of the game, she is the game.